Okay, Gearbest has sent me another quad to review, and this is the Hubsan X4 FPV brushless, as you can see. This is the H501s, and I think this is called the advanced or the professional one, and we'll understand why when I go into it in a little while. Basically, nice clean black box, again come with no marks or damage on it at all, so I'm really pleased. They seem to have got better at transporting them around the world without any damage or anything, and I'm really interested in the transmitter because it actually looks like a miniature version of my Typhoon H1. So let's get it out of the box and see what we get. Okay, with the cardboard box off, I just want to show you how well this is packaged. It really is moulded together really well in this sort of quite rigid plastic. Everything's held in position, even the little spanner wrench that you actually use on the motors. So let's get in here. Then we're actually into the main body of the box, and gee, that's quite heavy actually. I'll put the weight down the bottom there. It's quite a bit of a shock when you pick it up. Really cool looking. Anyone old enough to remember John Player special race Formula 1 race cars, it's got that sort of look to it with the gold and the black. Okay, so here it is all unboxed, and it is quality. It's very nice. It's a nice looking, nice feeling sort of quad, and I'm really looking forward to getting it up in the air. Before we do that, we better run through all the bits and pieces. It comes with your usual sort of two sets of props, so you got basically an original set and a spare set. Comes with a great little tool here, like a wrench that you put into the motors, and then you can hold the motor nice and steady while you just nip it up tight. You don't have to over tighten it because they're self-tightening props, but that's brilliant rather than trying to fiddle around trying to get your hands in there. Let's move on to the battery. It's a 2700 milliamp hour. It's only a 2-cell and it's 10C, which I'm a little bit surprised at, but obviously this is a tried and trusted design, so this will be absolutely fine. And you're supposed to get around 20 minutes of flight time, so that's absolutely brilliant. You can't ask for any more. The only slight disappointment I thought with it was so that's 2700 milliamp hour, and the charger runs out at 800 milliamp hour. So that's going to take a good 2 to 2.5 hours in between that to get it fully charged. That's at this level of quad I would have expected something a bit faster, to be perfectly honest. I shall be using a hobby grade balance charger, and I'll put a link to the one I use, and I've done a video of how to use it as well at the bottom. But obviously they've got to put, the prices have got to come in somewhere, so basically you've got quite a low grade charger here, and it charges through the actual balance port as well. You've got the mains adapter for the balance chargers there, and also you get a USB to micro USB cable, which I think is for firmware updates. I can't see that you'd be charging anything else with it. It doesn't need to be. And then onto this great looking little transmitter. Well, it's probably not that little to a lot of people, but I fly a Typhoon H from Unique, and this looks like a miniature version of it with a lovely screen in the middle and everything. The buttons, everything is real nice quality. And I'll run through a full thing on the transmitter a bit later in the review. But what it does come with is a stick antenna for the 2.4, and it comes with, I think this is called a paddle antenna for the 5.8, and I've never used one of these, so I'll be interested to see how that works and how good that is. And if it is that good, I might well be using it on some of my other quads as well. So I was expecting a very good instruction manual, and this is a very good instruction manual. All in one language, nice and easily laid out, so you can just jump to the bits you want to if you're an experienced pilot. If not, if this is your first one, then it takes you through everything as well. You would need to go through it 2 or 3 times, I think, if this was your first quad. And what an awesome quad to start with, actually. It does everything as a good instruction manual should. The translations are superb. There's nothing really confusing or anything that I found, and your setup and everything is just explained really well. Other manufacturers could learn a lot from this instruction manual. You could change quite a lot on this one. You can't change everything, but you can change more or less everything on this one because of the level of the transmitter and everything. So it tells you how to calibrate the compass for the GPS and all the other calibrations you need to do as well. It runs through them, and how to set it up in different flying modes. You can even change sensitivity, and the thing I will be trying at some stage is you can actually take it into acro mode, so that would be really interesting. I didn't think it would come with that, so I'm quite keen on having a look at that. Probably not on this first video, but on the following videos anyway. And all the different functions that you've got, really well done. Impressed with that. Just going to run through some of the basics in the studio of the actual transmitter itself. Feels really good in the hand. You do need 8 AA batteries, which go in the back here, or if you've got a 3-cell with a JST and it fits in the battery bay, you could put that in there. I've bumped in some batteries from because I just thought that was easiest to get going. It doesn't make any difference to how it's going to work, obviously. You've got 2 pots up here, and both of them are redundant basically for this model, but they would work on other models. You've got your normal trim down the bottom as well, and you can enter and exit menus using these and move up and down the menus as well. So first thing you need to do when you first use it for the first time is you need to choose whether you're flying in mode 1 or mode 2, and obviously you could change this if you had different pilots. Mode 1 is you put the sticks up and out, right and left, and if you want to go into mode 2 you need to pop the sticks, whoops, difficult to do on camera, up and left and then turn it on, and then it comes into calibrate stick mode 2, and then what you have to do is 3 great big rounds. So that's 1, 2, whoops, difficult to do on camera, you wouldn't believe it, would you? There we go, and then hold that down and then it says mode 2, and that's us all calibrated. I'm only just going to flick the quad on just purely in here just to show you how quick it comes on. So there we go. And it takes about, there we go, well I'd say that's under 5 seconds, and that's pretty impressive, I think. It's asking us to calibrate the compass. There's no way I could do that in my house, so I'll have to do that out on the first flight. They recommend you do that, and obviously if you're getting any problems you can do it again. It's quite a simple procedure, but I will show you how that's done later. So I'm just going to unplug the quad rather than leave it running, and then run through the rest of the controls. They're really quite simple. If the switches, there's 4 switches at the top, are down, they're off. If they go up, they're on, and I think that sort of makes sense, because sort of a down and an up, to me, down, off, up, on works really well. If you want headless mode, just simply flick up the left one and down, obviously. GPS is on when it's up, as I was saying, and obviously that's the way most people would probably be flying with this, because you pay quite a bit of money to have that extra GPS in there. And I should be trying out both, actually. It'd be good fun to play with. The home, obviously flick it up and it's going to come home. I think it comes home and lands as well, which would be quite good. If there's any problem that the transmitter loses signal from the actual quad itself, it will come back and land at the last place the transmitter was, not where you actually took off from. That's one of the benefits of the GPS system. And then this last one here, which is marked with a B, that's follow me mode. So the camera will point towards the transmitter wherever you are, and will just literally follow you. So I look forward to testing that out as well. Just go to turn off the transmitter, and then there's just a couple of sockets underneath. You've got a connection here if you want to use goggles, or alternatively you could have a co-pilot and you could just plug them in so they can see what you're seeing as well. And you've got a USB socket here, which I'm sure will be for updating the firmware. And one final thing on the transmitter, and you don't have to have the quad on for this, or you can have it on, it really doesn't matter. Just going to flick on the transmitter. And then to get into the main menu, and this bit I couldn't find at the beginning, would you hold down the enter and drop the throttle down at the same time, so like that, and then you can change bits in the menu, so you can use the enter and exit keys here and the up and down. So enter into it and then you can alter what you like, so you can reverse your controls basically. We'll come out of that. You can set the sensitivity as well. So these are the default settings. So it's at 100%. So if you're finding it a little bit too aggressive for what you wanted, or you wanted to do smoother video, shall we say, you could pull the controls down, so you had a less percentage of power there, which might be something you'd be after. The bit that really interests me, and this is why I was trying to find the menu, which you can actually turn it into manual mode. The default is off, but obviously we would like manual mode on. I don't think that's going to give us full acro, but at least one of the gloves might come off for a bit of fun flying, and I'll be interested to see how that works. And then just carry on down. Expert mode, the default is on, and then stick mode is 2, and obviously depending on what setup for your flight modes you want, and obviously the frequency you can set as well there. So it tells you what actual frequency it is, and then you can adjust that. And then let me just go down, and then you can show the version of what firmware version you've got on here, and then obviously check on the web to see whether or not you need to upgrade it. And then to come out, you just simply hold the exit key, and that brings us back onto the full menu itself. And obviously if the quad was on, you'd get the picture up and everything. The arms are clearly marked what letter prop you need to put on, and the props are marked obviously with the same letter as well. And there's a couple of little diagrams there just to show you that to loosen this one you go clockwise, to tighten it you go anti-clockwise. So just pop it on, spin it down, and if the motor starts to spin at all, this little tool is brilliant. You can just spin it right down and then just hold it and just nip it tight. There's no need to go over tight because they're self-tightening props, but when you come to take it off you're not struggling again. This is really easy just to get your props off after you've been for a few flights. So to open the battery bay, you actually sort of deflect the whole battery bay door itself, as you can see. Hopefully you can see that. And then the battery is actually quite tight in here. There's not a lot of space. There's not a lot of room for any manoeuvre. And it's got a small banana, I think these ones are called, connector. So it's an unusual connector. But to be honest, I've got loads of batteries and none of mine will actually fit this. It's quite an unusual sort of shape. Micro SD card goes in at the bottom of the body, as you can see here, and it goes with the contacts facing into the body. And it's not a click sort of, they're usually spring loaded, the click in and out. This one doesn't, it just literally slides in and stops, and then you just have to slide it out. So it doesn't feel the safest to me, but I'm sure it won't come out when you're in flight. Love that sound. Seriously, that is one quiet little quad. And so precise. And then I'm going to ask it to follow me. So I'm doing nothing here. This is just, it's turned round. And it should sit at that distance. There we go. So it gives you a bit. Whoa, yeah, I like it.